Hello, dear friend, and welcome. I am Cynthia Alice Anderson, and this is a public service announcement, especially for Florida residents. So we are in a time of preparation right now if you live in the state of Florida, and that is preparing for the tropical storm that has quickly become Hurricane Ian. So for all of us, it's a time where we want to make sure and remain centered in doing our spiritual and emotional work, as well as physically prepare for the storm. We hear a lot about physically preparing, and I want to help you emotionally and spiritually prepare. One of those aspects is very simply to breathe. Take a few deep breaths, like 3 deep breaths right now, just 3 deep breaths. That will help you become centered. That will help you relax at the level of the body, and it will help your mind to clear and be at ease. This is important in a time like this because we don't want to make decisions out of panic. We want to make decisions from a very centered, knowledgeable, and wise place within us, right? That's from our soul. So if you've not done so yet, breathe. I would encourage you to do this practice of breathing 3 times a day. The second thing that goes along with the breathing is very simply to have a centering thought or prayer that can bring you back to center if you start to get overly worried or move into panic. And the one I love is very simply, I am loved, I am safe, I am blessed. I am loved, I am safe, I am blessed. And every time I do that prayer, I smile. You can see I can't help but smiling because I know I am being supported by the universe. That said, I know I don't live all alone in this life experience, but I have friends and loved ones. So in a time like this, it's important to reach out to friends and loved ones. 1, we want to make sure and check on them. Number 2, we want to make sure we are feeling connected and supported and loved, and that in case of an evacuation or in case of an emergency, we want to have some kind of plan with those we love so that we can notify one another and get the proper support that is needed. So friends, especially if you live alone, I want you today to reach out to a friend or loved one and let them know your plan and a time to check in. So far we've talked about 3 things: to breathe, to say a centering thought or prayer, and then finally to reach out to friends and loved ones. On the physical side, of course, you are going to need an evacuation plan, what to do if this hurricane hits at the level they think it may. We want to especially listen to local and state authorities as they guide us for what to do, because certain areas, of course, those areas on the water and near the water, of course, will be more impacted than those inland. So we want to be very cautious and mindful if the state and local authorities tell us to evacuate the area. This means we need to have our cars gassed up. And if we do lose power and are able to stay in our homes, we need to have water for at least 3 days and a good number of non-perishables. Friends, this is preparing for the worst, hoping for the best. As we pray, as we center, we still have to do these things on the physical level. Gas the car, water for 3 days, non-perishables in the house. And of course, again, finally, we want to listen to local and state officials to know what's ours to do. On a regular basis today, though, over the next few days, I want to encourage you to breathe, to bring that centering thought or prayer to mind, and reach out to those you love. If you have cell phones, make sure those are charged, especially if you have an extra battery, make sure those are charged as well, to make sure if you are without power that you have a way to reach those you love if there is a time of need. So thank you for joining me today, dear friend, and I want you to know I'm always lifting you in prayer for God's highest and best. I myself am planning for the storm as well, doing all the practices I'm bringing to you today. I guess the only addition is I'm also drinking coffee. So I love you all. I thank you for listening, and blessings on the journey, dear friend.